number 4. This looks really similar to number 3. It's actually just the negative of number 3. If you multiply this side by -1, then you get -3x plus 2. So let's see how this graph up here changes into the graph of this one. If I plug in -2 for x, I get +6 plus 2 is 8. Plug in -1, I get +3 plus 2 is 5. Plug in 0, I just get 2. 1 gives me -3 plus 2 is -1. And 2 gives me -6 plus 2 is -4. So I can actually see that all of these y values are the same as they were up here, except for they're the negatives of what I had up here. That makes sense. We just took this right side of the equation and multiplied by -1, so the y just turns into -y. Let's sketch the graph. I know I need to go up to +8. So I'll put a 4 here, and I'll need a 2. So 4 is halfway between 0 and 8, 2 is halfway between 0 and 4. And then there's -4. I'll make my ticks on the x-axis. And now -2, 8 is about here. 0, 2, 2, -4. So there's the graph, and it may not be obvious just by looking at it, but once I tell you the relationship between this and this, I think it'll be obvious. If you take this graph and you just flip over the x-axis, then this part of the line comes down like this, and the left part of the line will shoot up like this. So this graph down here is just the reflection of this graph over the x-axis. It's like the mirror image over the x-axis. That always happens if you take an equation and you multiply it by -1. It just flips the graph over the x-axis. All right, shape of the graph is a line. The x-intercept is, well, I knew it was 2/3 0 here, and when I flipped it, it didn't move, so I know it's 2/3 0 again. And if you don't believe me, or just to check it, you could set this equal to 0, set y equal to 0, solve for x, you'll get the same thing. The y-intercept is 0, 2. And the slope is -3.